Hey you guys, this is going to be an interesting one. I've decided to, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I've decided to put two side rafts on my vehicle. Not the engine that I've got in now. I'll build a A15, a nice hot A15 with a 290-degree cam for that. You know what it is, you can't wait. So I've got a manifold and I've got a whole lot of things together. And I'm in the process of putting all of that together. So in this video, I'll show you how I build brackets and what have you to put those side rafts on the manifold with the links and everything on the vehicle, and eventually how we fire it up. I'll make a different one on the jetting and all of that, but this is just all the mechanics, just to make everything work properly. This is how I do it. So there's the carbies. I haven't done anything to them yet. I got them from a guy probably about a year ago. They're Dellortos. I love Dellortos. I've got a few sets of Webers as well. And I've got another set of these and a set of Solexes, but I'm going to use these. This manifold I got from a guy not so long ago. It's actually meant for a deluxe. Nothing wrong with it. They've drilled the A14 head to fit this, so I'm going to use that cylinder head. I've got another manifold as well, and you can buy them that fit on the normal GX pattern. But this is fine, there's nothing wrong with it. As long as you support the weight of the carbs, that's the main thing. But that's on any manifold, otherwise the ears break off, and I'll show you in a sec. So what I'm going to focus on here is to make the linkages. So that I can use my standard cable. I like using the standard cable on all the carb mods that I do. That way if you get stuck somewhere, you can just go to the local spare shop, buy a standard cable, put it on, and off you go. So I've made this stud comes through. I've made that to fit on there as part of the support, and I've made this plate so that plate will bolt on there like that, also as part of the support. I'll line everything up. I just want to show you guys quickly what I'm going to do. The thing is, these carbies must push down to open, and I don't want to do that. I want them to pull up when I throttle. So I need to operate the other way around than what I'm doing here. So when I turn, it's got to pull. So I've got to have a shaft that can pull up, because that pushes down. It pulls up when I accelerate. Because there's a reason for that. I'll show you in a second. So I've made this little shaft with these two little bushes that I'm going to put on a support there. That side and that side there, with this link then going down. I'm going to use this standard Nissan to get the cable in, and yes, I'll put a little bit more together and show you guys how that works. So at the moment that pushes down to go to full throttle, and the problem that I've got when I put this in and I push to full throttle, it hooks on the adjustment screw there. So I must get this on the back here so that I pull up, which means I've got to have a shaft here that I can pull back on. So I therefore have made this that goes on there with that screwy like that, and then I'll have this shaft here. I'll make two brackets for it. I've made these bushes on the lathe quickly. It's a 10mm round bar. I know it's quite heavy, but yeah, oh well. Maybe I'll turn it down. I'll still see. So I've got to make two brackets for that, and then have a shaft on here, a bracket on here with a ball that can pull that up, and then the accelerator cable, this bit, must be at the bottom there, like that way around to throttle that way. So I've got to put this as far forward as what I can to have enough leverage there to pull up. It probably have to be the same length as that, so I'll have to make these brackets to go a little bit forward like there. But I'll make something quickly. So I've changed this bracket. This piece was on there, so I cut it off because I needed it on the other side, and I brazed it on and I filed it a bit. I'm in the position now to put it back. Let me put it back quickly and I'll show you how it works then. But I think it came out not too bad. I'll obviously give it a painted coat or a coating or something before final assembly. Yes, but I think it came out alright. So I've made these two brackets. I've decided to put it at the back here. There's one or two reasons for that. And I've now got that at the back where it will pull up like I wanted it to. So let me just space that up quickly, otherwise we damage the accelerator pump at the bottom. So now we're sitting there, so that something now needs to pull that up. So I've made this up, that'll go in there. I don't know if I'm going to silver solder that bush or what I'm going to do with it, but now I can pull up. So I've made this was too long. I've made this shorter. I have to silver solder it there because I didn't have the right thread to cut it in there. So and I've now got a bit of adjustment on it, so I can adjust where I want this. I'm gonna pop that in quickly and we'll see how it goes. So now the linkage looks like that. I've put that little link in. The top is adjustable, and now when I throttle it, it comfortably pulls the garbage to flat out open, and it goes back to fully closed. It is there where my finger is. It's a little close for comfort, but I'm gonna have spaces over there, probably 6mm or 4mm spaces or whatever, just as a heatsink, or as a heat insulator, not a heatsink, sorry. And then if I've got 2 or 3mm clearance there, it'll give me 2 or 3mm more clearance there. But it's not catching, so I'm not going to have a high idle or anything. And I think it works pretty alright. So the next thing that I've got to do is I've got to get this on there. I'm going to cut this off. This is from a standard 1400. I think I'll just file that bigger to 10mm, cut it off, put it over, and then just find a comfortable space to silver solder it in. And then I think that'll be it for that. Then I must just make a bracket here to put the cable in. But I think I'm pretty close to being done with this. I think it looks alright. So there we are. The cable will hook in there, and it'll throttle it like that. I think it's alright. I must just make a bracket here for the cable to hook in, and that's it, job done. But I'll do that in part 2. So there we have it. It's now on a Nissan 1400 cable. I think it works alright. There's a little bit of play there, but that's okay. I can adjust it out. A little bit of play there, and when I press it flat out, it needs a little bit, millimeter or so, to pull open flat out. But all in all, I think pretty good bracket. Well, there's the bracket. It bolts on there with a M8 bolt. It bolts on there also with the M8 bolt. That's a stud that I made longer that comes right through, and I think it's quite a sturdy bracket. There's no movement on it. Cable hooks in. It is what it is. Step 1 done. So okay, that's the linkage bit done. I think the linkages are extremely important. Number one, you don't want to hook at full throttle and not close, so it's got to close properly. I don't like putting additional springs on any carb except for the 36D Series 7 because they need an extra spring. But any other carby should have enough spring in it to pull your throttle cable back. So I don't like putting additional springs and stuff in it. That's why I've made my links like this, and I think it's alright. It's not the best in the world, but it is what it is. I think it'll work. I don't think I'll ever have a stuck throttle with it. And important, I'm using my standard cable. So if I'm in Timbuktu somewhere and my throttle cable breaks, hopefully I'll go to a local dealer and they'll have a Nissan 1400 cable for me, and I can put it on and carry on riding. Yes, that's the cable bits done. In the next couple of videos, I'll do the jetting on it. I'll obviously do a video where I rebuild them, but I'll do all the jetting on them. Venturis, I think I'm going to have a problem with Venturis because they have to be really small. But all the jetting and everything, I'm also going to do a jet modification on it. But anyway, that'll be in part 2, part 3, part 4. But this is it for part 1. I really hope it helps someone. Be safe.